Hey everybody, come on in. This is the Yankey Show. We're gonna hang out and have a little live show, have a little fun, hang out with our buddies and our friends here at the Yankey Show. So come on in, and the main focus of this is going to be to get our YouTube channel up to 1,000 subscribers. We are trying to grow the YouTube channel, which is the hub of everything, where all the shows live anyway. We're trying to grow it to 1,000 subscribers to help it survive and carry on and grow. So we're trying to do that. Our goal is by December 10th. We're at 944. So go over to YouTube. I'll share the link here in a second in the comments. And subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. And watch us on YouTube. Same show, just over on YouTube. I'll share the link here in a second. Thanks for coming. Like and share. We're going to hang out, talk about some stuff. I've got a little rant, something I'm going to get off my chest, a sampling of a rant. We're going to bring back Yankee rants. I wanted to kind of tease that. So we're going to get into a few different things. So share this out, like, and if you're here on YouTube, subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers and grow this channel. Well, we'll start in just a minute. On Facebook, share it out. Get this out. Invite your friends. And comment. The more comments there are, the more short show there will be. I only have so many notes and so much to talk about. So the more interactive it is, the better off it'll be. But thanks for coming. This is the Yankey Show. And I just thought we'd hang out for a little while. I thought it'd be fun to hang out with you guys and just have a good time. I thought that'd be a good idea to do on a Friday night. Plus, Babels is out shopping with her friend. Yeah, Christmas shopping. I am not ready for Christmas. I don't know if you are. I am not. I'm going to invite a few friends, and then we'll just hang out. Hopefully, a few people can stop by and talk to us, and we'll get a good conversation going. Like I said, I've got a few things planned to talk about, but we always get sidetracked in the comments. We always veer here and there and end up other places. So anything is possible in a live stream, as I think a lot of you know. And if you go to live streams, you know. And we often get sidetracked and get pulled in different directions. But I will try to stay as focused as I can. But thanks for coming. This is Yankey Show. This is a show I'm trying to grow. And, I don't really know how to present it because I want it to be like a podcast that's also live. And eventually I want to take phone calls when I get the new computer and we get the new stuff and more of an ability to do things like that. I want to get to a point where we can take phone calls and things like of that nature. But I want this to be interactive, and it already is. I mean, we play off the comments, but that's what this is. And it's like any topic. There are no rules. Anything goes. That's really the only rule, is that there are no rules. We can talk about absolutely anything. It can be current events, it can be movies, it can be anything. I wish I could talk to you about the new It movie, It 2 or It Part 2 or whatever it's officially called. I don't really know the name. But the latest It movie, Stephen King's It, we bought it and Babels watched it, but I was busy. I was doing a show and I missed it. So I can't talk to you about it, but I'm gonna see it. I will tell you what I thought about it when I see it. I love the book. It was one of the first books I ever read. Stephen King is actually how I got into reading to begin with. I was never much of a reader, and then I got grounded. I used to get grounded a lot, actually. I got grounded quite a bit growing up. I don't know if you guys experienced grounding, if your parents were into that, but my dad was. And I would get grounded, and I wasn't allowed to have anything, not even a radio, but I could have books. So I would go to the library and I would get books, and I was drawn to the Stephen King books. And it was one of the first ones that I ever read, and it was just amazing. And it's the name of the book. It's kind of like Who's on First. It is the name of the book and the movie. But I haven't gotten to see it yet, though, the second one. So don't ruin it. It looks really good. I watched like the first 10 minutes and then I had to come do the Daily Burn. But I will get to watch it. And like I said, we own it. So I'll get to see it. I was just glad to see they did a good job because they kind of did a good job already in the original TV version with Tim Curry. So I was just glad to see they didn't ruin it. At least stands on its own and is its own thing. So I like it. I like what they've done with it, and I'm excited to see it. But like I was saying, there really are no rules. We have no set discussion, no set topics. We can talk about anything. And this is going to be kind of a medley anyway, because I want to kind of show what we do on Me on Things and Stuff, my YouTube channel. By the way, I said I was going to get that link. I better go do that so that we get some people over on YouTube too. And then please share this. I'm going to put it in the comments, but I got to load up Facebook on the computer. It's going to take, it'll probably be 10 minutes before I can do it. But I'm going to try to put it in the comments and share it out. I'm also going to tweet it real quick to Twitter and get that out before we really start talking. Because I got stuff planned, but I also want you to participate. Anything you want to talk about, anything at all, bring it up and we'll get into it. I will go through the comments. Even if I get off ranting for a bit, comment and we'll get to it. So anything at all you want to talk about, anything you think is important or that we need to bring up, let me know. But while I wait for Facebook to load, because it is still loading, this is not the new computer. We will get the new computer soon. From what I hear, there's just a few things left to get in, like the case and some wire. So it's real close to being done. It's a family member that's doing it. He's went to school for computers, real smart and everything. He's just doing it for parts basically. So I got really lucky on the deal actually. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be really cool because it's custom made for what I'm doing. But unfortunately, this isn't it yet. And Facebook loads super slow because I've already got 2 tabs open just to live stream. And so I'm trying to get there and get you guys the link. And then once I add the link to the feed, this is the YouTube. Well, I missed it. You know how when something's loading and you go to click on it and it moves? That's what happened. But this is going to be the link to the YouTube channel and the YouTube video that's playing the same video right now, just on YouTube. If I could get the page to sit still. This is so ridiculous. My computer is so slow. But here, this is it. And come to YouTube and subscribe to Me on Things and Stuff. I would really appreciate that. That would be fantastic. This is the Yankey Show, and we can do a little bit of everything, like I said. So it's really up to the comment section where it all goes. What I wanted to start with was just a short little rant. Yankee Rants is another one of our shows. And we haven't done one in about a month because I'm trying to figure out a new structure for the shows and a new plan moving forward on how to do them and when to do them. Yankee Rants, I think, is going to be one that kind of comes in whenever I feel like ranting about something. And I felt like ranting about something today, but didn't want to do a whole rants. So we'll just do it in a section. This has to do with something that happened during a live feed. And it's not the first time it's ever happened, but I triggered somebody with one of my beliefs. And they got mad at me and, started ranting and raving about how I was wrong and how they were right and that they were leaving and that I was crazy and blah, blah, blah. And it's happened before. They didn't call me crazy, but implied, heavily implied. So, anyways, I just don't know why, and I want to know, maybe you guys can tell me. somebody can tell me, why are there these ideas and beliefs that if someone has them, then they are considered okay to be mocked or ostracized? I can think of a lot of different beliefs that people feel that way about. Some of the obvious ones that you could point to would be like flat earth. But even being a Christian, there are groups that feel like they can treat you like you're ridiculously stupid and childlike naive, that you don't understand reality and that you should be talked to like an imbecile just because you're religious. So it spans the whole gambit. It's not like only flat earthers are treated a certain kind of way, but why is it okay to treat even a flat earther that way, or someone that believes in um, reptilians, for example? I'm trying to think of things that are way out there, you know, Nibiru, Planet X, these things. How do you know? Do you know everything? That's what I always start and base everything around. But I am a contrarian at heart. That's just the way I view the world. I know and understand that I don't know everything. I realize that there's much more that I don't know or understand. And I try to live in that and be in that reality. And I try to be open to other people's ideas and views. But it does take effort to be that way. And there is thought involved in it. I just don't understand why other people don't come to the conclusion that they should respect other people's views and beliefs, and why it's okay to mock some people. And the other thing, and this has to do with personal growth and how this fights against that entirely, and you can't even have any with it, is why is it impossible for some people to have a different view than someone and still respect or even value that person, still like that person, still want to be friends with that person? Why do you have to agree on everything in order to be around somebody? Why can't you be friends with somebody that you have differing views of, or than, rather? Why do you have to close yourself off and shut down just because someone thinks differently than you? And how do you expect to ever learn anything like that? How can you grow in that kind of environment and creating that kind of bubble for yourself? So why is it impossible for you to have different views than somebody and then still respect them? And when you're triggered by something, why don't you look at what is going on within you that is upsetting you in that moment instead of reacting to what's triggering you? Why don't you look at why you're reacting the way you're reacting, why you feel the way you feel? Doesn't that make more sense? Isn't that a little more constructive, at least? You know? Doesn't that seem like something that would be a smarter way to go? I There's a Bruce Lee quote. I'm not even gonna attempt not even gonna attempt it because I'll butcher it, but it basically has to do with that. Just how you should observe. Not everything involves a reaction. Hey David, Giuliani's being thrown under the bus. I've noticed that. It does kind of seem like he's their whipping boy. I think we have slightly different politics, but that's okay. Again, that's kind of the theme of the little rant here, is that you can have different views and still respect each other. You know, as a matter of fact, me and David have had passionate debates about issues and have disagreements about certain things, but have endured through that. And I've learned things from David, and maybe David's learned things from me. He'd have to tell you. I don't know. I try to sprinkle some stuff out there, put some stuff out there. It's likely that something's gotten through. Who knows? He's at least stuck around, and I know he doesn't agree with everything that I think. But why can't more people be like that? You know, what happened was, sorry, what happened was we were doing a feed, and I offended somebody with my belief, and it's just a belief, a theory based on my own research and my own opinions. Then right away she's all goodbye, blah blah blah, and then you're wrong and this and that. And I shouldn't have reacted the way I did, but it bothers me that this person has been at a lot of feeds, and I consider a lot of you friends. I realize that the the title of friend on Facebook sometimes is kind of, I don't know, a misnomer. But a lot of you I respect, and I like your stuff. I feel like I know you. I know I only know the you that you present to me, but still consider you friends. A lot of the internet friends I've made are realer than real life friends in a lot of ways. And I've learned a lot from a lot of different people that I've met that I wouldn't have normally met if I closed myself off to different beliefs. You see what I'm saying? And different ways of thinking. Hey, Nick, good to see you. I don't know who's actually here and who isn't. It's showing me that there's two here, but it's also showing me a bunch of names. And then I see three are here, but two's on the thing. It's weird. They're doing weird things to me on Facebook and kind of throttling me in a weird way. That's the other reason why we're plugging the YouTube. But I need to grow YouTube to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to do it by the 10th of December. So if you would go to the link, I shared the link in the description or in the comments on the video on my main timeline. And come on over and subscribe and join us on YouTube, me on things and stuff. It's a great little channel. You will love it. It's fantastic. We have a lot of good videos. Please go through the videos and see if there's some that you like and share them out. Help us grow. We're only like 60 away, 56 away from 1,000. So we can totally even get there by tonight if anybody would help us grow and get it out. But David says Trump support and oh hell yeah 9/11 truth. Yeah. So we have disagreements, but it's okay. You understand? Like we may never agree about that, but we agree about other things. And you know what I mean? We have different values and different skills and different things we bring to the table. And you may not like all of it, but you don't want to kick all of it out over one little thing that you disagree with. You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, Nick's here. We have completely polar opposite politics. Agree on probably 90% of other things. Isn't that weird? You know what I mean? But we're trained to believe that we can't have anything in common with each other. We must be polar opposites. Just like for example, people that are on my side of the fence, Nick for example happens to be a Trump supporter. People on my side of the fence on the more left-leaning view are trained to believe that all Trump supporters are racist and hateful and ignorant people. Well, it's just not true. But it's what you're trained to believe because they want us broke up in little groups and they want you to be religious about it as well. They want you to defy logic and not think and just move forward with passion, always and react. That's why that quote's so important to me and I try to live by it. To not react to everything, to observe, to sit back and see what really deserves your attention, even. Not everything needs a reaction from you. You know what I mean? And a lot of times you're going to get more out of it by observing and you're going to learn. And if a reaction by you is needed, it's going to be more productive because it's going to be a more informed reaction. So it's just good all the way around. It really can't backfire, to observe and react less, observe more and react less. David says it's important to be able to talk to people with a different view. I absolutely agree. And I have actually built my social media world with that in mind. Because I don't want to be in a bubble or an echo chamber or get tunnel vision. I want to be in touch with reality. So I've tried to keep it that way. But my own little views have pushed away even lifelong friends, and it really kind of sucks. It Well, it doesn't kind of suck. It does suck. I lost a lifelong friend because I wouldn't support Hillary Clinton, for example. Isn't that's just about crazy, I think. But it's true and it happened. I don't know. I just don't understand it. I don't get being so triggered and so activated every time you get an idea that's a little bit different for you. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, you know. I don't want to live that way. I don't feel like you can grow or learn anything that way. There's a little fly in here and it's flying around my face. It's impossible to grow in that way. You can't do anything like that. So, if I want, let's say for example I wanted to change someone's mind, if I surround myself with people that only think like me, could I possibly do that? Is there any way that I could ever change anyone's mind if everyone thinks like me, you know? So, it's not showing me an accurate representation of who's here. So, like I said, comment and participate. Let me know what's on your mind, what you want to talk about. Like David said about Giuliani being thrown under the bus. That is kind of. But I thought everybody kind of saw that in the beginning. He kind of looked like a fall guy from me to me from day one. Maybe that has to do with my opinion of Giuliani, but he's overeager. Isn't he having financial troubles? Which doesn't have anything to do. I'm not using that to invalidate anything that he said, but it would encourage him to involve himself more than he should have and put himself in a compromising position that I think he would have been a little more hesitant to do had he not been in financial troubles. But then again, I don't know that he really was. You can't trust anything from the media. That's really the only thing I know for sure from the media is that you can't trust anything that they say. Oh, good. You have learned something from me. I knew there had to be something. I've been swinging in the dark. There had to have been something land. But this bothered me. I snapped again on a live feed. And it's not the first time I've done it. It won't be the last. I'm going to catch this thing Mr. Miyagi style. Oh, man. I almost had him. But I liked this person. And then they turned on me and they're like, goodbye. I'm out of here. I'm like, how come? Because of this one thing. Everything else I thought you thought there was value in. You're smashing the like buttons, you're coming back time and time again, hanging out. Hey, buddy, you know my name, you're liking all this stuff. Then one day I say something you don't like, and then it's like, that's it. I hate you. I don't understand that. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna offend you. At some point, it's just highly likely that I will eventually upset you in some way. Wouldn't it be boring if I never brought anything new to the table and never challenged you in any way at all? To me, that would be extremely boring. But that's just me. That's my rant, though. I would get more into Giuliani, David, if I followed the news. I've stopped altogether. I don't care. I don't care. I'm involved in a certain revolution and the way I feel about it doesn't involve me watching the news. Anything that happens in the news doesn't change it for me. So I watch a little bit of independent news, but not nearly as much as I need to. That's why I quit doing a news show. Because lately I've been trying to work on my mind and strengthen my mentality. And the news is negative by design. Even the independent stuff will do it because scientifically we respond more to negative information. As in a lot of things, we talk out of one side of our mouth, but statistics tend to show that we lean another direction. So, but Go ahead and comment anything you want to get into, as long as it's not going to involve me being real informed on like the impeachment. Because again, I don't care about the impeachment. And David says Trump is to the left of Hillary. You're probably right about that. I'm much more comfortable, honestly, with Trump being president than I would have been Hillary. Now, I fully believed Hillary was going to win. I did not believe that Trump had a chance. I was shocked. I never doubted. I was up. I saw her losing, and I went to bed convinced it would come through in the end. Like I thought it was fake. When they rigged the Democratic side, I figured they were going to do the exact same thing on the Republican side or the general election. And apparently they can't, because they rigged the voting in the primary, the Democratic primary. We know that. We experienced it. We were there. They pulled names off ballots and voter rolls like by the hundreds of thousands in what was it, Brooklyn? And then the different things that they did, where they did caucuses that were decided on 6 consecutive coin flips that all landed for Hillary. Do you know the statistical odds of something like that happening? Oh man. But I thought they were going to rig it. I was shocked. So, but I was relieved, and after I got over it, at first I was real upset because I don't feel the same way about Trump that you guys do. David, I think, is a Trump supporter, and Nick, I know, is. And I don't feel the same way. But I also don't have Trump derangement syndrome. I'm also not, hey, Kilo, I'm also not programmed to hate all Trump supporters and to be triggered by every image I see of Donald Trump. And I can say he's my president and things like that. I don't have that that trigger. But I also want real change. And if I believe that Trump could give it to me, he is left of Hillary. But I don't believe he's going to, you know? And left unchecked, I don't think that my guy would either. But I want us to hold whoever, and I feel we need to go in a new direction and hold them accountable. But we need real change. We need massive change. David says you lost a lot of friends over what, voting? Dude, this guy, me and him, friends since we were, I don't know, 12? 12 or 13. And over Hillary, I couldn't vote for her. And, I wouldn't even lie to him and tell him I would. But can you respect me because of that? What you live in, he lives in Texas, and that's why he was double afraid of her, because he's a black man in Texas. And from what way he explained it, I don't live there. He said it wasn't a very good place to be. So, in this racism that is being encouraged, but that was being encouraged by the media, though. You see, you see what I'm saying? We're manipulated by the media. And the media built up Donald Trump. The media still builds up Donald Trump because they would much rather lose to Donald Trump and keep the status quo than let us win and make any changes to the system. Even if you don't agree with the changes that we want to make, you can at least understand that they are fighting relentlessly hard to stop them. And that proves that they're against it. People think that the media attention proves that they're against Donald Trump. I don't think so, because they're using him no matter what. Even the ones on the left are using him even more so than the ones on the right for ratings. He generates ratings. That's why he had TV shows to begin with. He's very good at branding and promoting himself, and he's a good public speaker. People mock him and say he has a fourth grade vocabulary or speaks at a fourth grade level. He's captivating. He holds thousands of people's attention. You need to realize he has massive support. And is a real enemy. And they know that. They know that none of these people they're running against him, besides Bernie or maybe Tulsi, could beat him. They know that. The only one on the stage that I think could do it is Bernie. And I think Tulsi probably ended up as VP anyway, or at least heavily involved in the administration. She would be on the team. That team wins. But they don't want that. They would rather run Bloomberg. They would rather run Biden. They would rather run Warren and lose. They might run Pete Buttigieg. I'm purposely saying his name wrong because I don't care. They just don't want to run Bernie. And they're not afraid of Bernie. If they thought that they could just let Bernie get elected and then stop him from doing everything he wants to do, they'd just let him be elected. And that's what would happen. He would be elected. He's the front runner. They don't want that. And they can't have that because that would empower us. See what I'm saying? They're afraid of us. They're trying to stop us, not Bernie. They're not afraid of a 77-year-old man. They're afraid of the people. The people are rising up. But the people are rising up on the right as well, and they're just in a different way. But there's a mass awakening happening. So if you're spreading truth on the left, good, I'm with you. If you're spreading truth on the right, you're still my brother. You're still in this fight. You're still waking people up. We may not be pushing in the same direction. Not everybody wants the same things, but at least we're pushing for awakening. You know what I mean? Pushing towards progress, some kind of progress. We just can't expect to agree with each other all the time. And it's just not even realistic. But let me see. David says he is not subject to impeachment since he does not hold office, Giuliani. Oh, no, I wasn't tying him to the impeachment. I was just saying that I don't follow that either. I don't. I followed it in the beginning, but when I realized we couldn't talk about what Joe Biden had done and they only wanted to talk about Trump, I didn't care anymore. Because I was like, well, if we can't talk about what Biden did, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But this is weird because this has happened before during a live feed, but there is somebody beating on the front door. And I've got to go find out because I was going to ignore it, but it's been pretty steady every like 45 seconds, like the cops. So I'm going to go check and see what it is. I will be right back. I'll play a little music while I'm gone, but hang tight. I'll be back. I'll be right back. Okay, that was strange. Okay, there there was someone banging like the police every like 45 seconds, like bang 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 on the door. And I knew the dog wasn't outside, so I was like, whatever, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to pay attention cuz it's nothing important. Someone will get it. Like my sons are here. But then it just kept happening. So I went to check and see what it was, and it was just some dude, right? I don't recognize him, and I live in a really little town. You know, that's kind of important to the story, like where you know everybody. But I didn't recognize him. There was no car, no vehicle that I saw. I mean, you know, it didn't look like he'd been walking. It's raining right now. But he wasn't wet. And then he was looking for someone else. But who knocks like that? It was like the police. Who bangs like that? It's just weird. Whatever. Josh says 2,000 years later. Yeah, I'm sorry. But the guy was like looking for, so he was convinced he was at the right house. It was weird. It was one of those I lived here when I was a child situations. He was like, no, I know that I know that this person lives here. I'm like, dude, there is no Jonathan here at all. No one in this house has that name. There's nobody here by that name. But this is where he lives. No, it's not. It's weird. Just weird. So it's all for their benefit. Well, Nick says, I missed that. But yeah, it all is. They like the way things are. And that should show you. Like, say you're blue no matter who. Let's say you are voting because you just want to beat Donald Trump. You need to understand that they don't want to beat Donald Trump. They're not even that worried about it. It's like a nice idea. If it happens, it happens. But they want it to be with one of the people they picked. They don't want it to be with the person that we picked. And they're gonna rig it. They're gonna rig the primary. I believe they will, or at least attempt to. And they did the last one in plain sight, and they got away with it. So what would stop them? You know what I mean? Like, what's there to stop them from doing it? There's really nothing to stop them. So, but let me know what you guys want to get into. Like I said, this will be a much more interesting show if there's some things going on in the comments. I already did my rant. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and Josh is here, so maybe he can join in if he wants to. I don't know if he wants to or not. But I am doing research for Conspiracy Theories and Chill, and I'm flirting with this as this coming week's topic, but it may have to be like maybe a couple weeks down the road. Because I want to just broad stroke it like I usually do and then have a conversation, but I want the video to be good. So it's real involved topic, and it's about the Nephilim. So is there any interest in kicking that around? And maybe Josh would want to talk about that just a little. I couldn't talk about it much. It's always been something I've been interested in, but I never really delved into it, especially from the side of the Bible, because I never based a lot of my faith on the Bible, and I never studied it very much. And I've been open about that on other shows in the past because I feel it's kind of it has to do with my perception of what my faith even actually is. Sometimes I don't know what I would actually really be categorized it as. I consider myself Christian, but I don't know if I'd be accepted by most. I think I'm accepted by most, but I don't know for sure if I fully would be because I don't put a lot of weight on the Bible. But when I'm looking at, there was watching this other researcher and his research based on the Bible and having to do with Nephilim, which I believe in, the fallen, that they walk the earth. I believe they walk the earth today and have power. And I believe the elite believe that. And I believe they worship them. But that's my belief. Again, that would have to do with our rant and things I believe. I am doing research now based on this guy, and I'm going to follow some others. I saw some others in the suggestions that I kind of jotted down. So I'm going to go down. Like to look at all of it and explore it. But the Bible side of it is interesting. It's creepy. And then it kind of brings into question my view of the Bible. Because, like I said, I am Christian, but I don't put much weight on the Bible. And I don't know how that would make me look to other Christians because I do believe in Jesus. I believe the some of it, but I believe it's been weaponized. But for this guy's stuff to be true, it's got to be like a clock almost, where it's to the word you can analyze it. And that's only for his research to make sense, but it's creepy how when you do that, when you treat that like that and you analyze each word down to the word, how it lines it up. But then the argument could also be made that you could do that with anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just very compelling. But it's something I would be into talking about, and that would be a sampling of what conspiracy theories and chill is. So, Conspiracy Theories and Chill is my conspiracy theory show where we hang out and talk about conspiracies. Usually I'll study up on something and then I'll do a main topic video or a rant or discussion about to get the conversation going, and then we'll talk about anything and everything. That's how they usually go. Josh said something, but it doesn't show me what he said. I just see your name, Josh. I'm going to like the comment just to let you know I saw it, but it doesn't say anything. Oh, it's a GIF. The truth is out there. I see it now. All right, it just took it a second to load. But that's interesting, and I'm looking into that right now. So that would be something I could talk about. It's on my mind. So if you're into the Nephilim and the stories, do you think that's something that happened? Do you believe there was ever giants that walked the earth? Whether you believe they were the Nephilim or not, we can put aside for a second. But because I am open to other beliefs and other frames of mind, and if you don't share my religious belief, I don't judge you or feel like I'm better than you or anything like that. I want us to be able to talk. David says very weird. It is pretty weird. But then it was weird because this guy's really interesting, and I keep wanting to say his name. I'm gonna catch this thing, but I don't know that I remember. I don't trust my memory. If Josh wants to say his name, Josh knows. Josh recommended him to me, but I've watched like 3 or 4 of his videos now, and even a more recent one. And I'm going to share it to you, Josh. After this, I'll share it to you because I don't know if you've seen it, but this was a more recent talk he gave on transhumanism, which was very interesting. But he's a um, he's very informed on the Bible, but he's not just a biblical scholar. I don't know how I would describe him. He has history in government as well, and top secret programs, and very interesting dude. So, and he talked about a lot of different things. Like he didn't talk about this, but there you go. Josh said it, and that's the name of the guy. Chuck Meisler. Is that how you say that? Misler or Meisler? But look him up if you're into it. If you're into well, I don't know. He has all kinds of videos. Like I said, I watched the one on transhumanism, which was very interesting, and he uses the Bible to explain a lot of things. And I think he's a great speaker and very informative, and I learned a lot from him, and I've been watching his stuff. But I'm interested in this, and I'm thinking about covering it, like giants in some form. Like, I believe in the Nephilim, personally. I do. But, I am religious, and I also believe in God. And if you don't, again, I don't judge you, but I don't understand, like in my rant earlier, people that would judge me and think, oh, well, he's stupid because he believes in a sky daddy that's going to save us all. I never said I believed in that. And what's funny is, like, the people that would treat me that way believe in alternate dimensions. They believe in that there could be alternate timelines, even. They even believe this could all be a computer simulation. But the idea that there could be a God, why is that laughable? Why is that funny? Why is that? I don't get it. I don't really understand it. But I think that it's fun to think about things like this. And he talks about aliens, but Josh, maybe you can tell me. He implied it in all the talks I've seen so far. But does he think, because I believe, and let me see if he does too, that the Nephilim, the fallen, are what we think of when, or what UFOs actually are. It seemed like he was implying that in the stuff at least the 2 videos that you sent me, and then even in the transhumanism talk that I watched him do, because he also mentioned the angels and demons and Nephilim and all that in that talk as well. So, but what's fascinating to me, and like Baba's got mad at me, so this may be a triggering talk. I'll go ahead and give that warning now, even though there was a content disclaimer at the beginning of the show that clearly said that we were going to get into stuff that may trigger you. But again, this is we're kicking around personal belief. This is be what conspiracy theories and chills is like. But the theory goes that the fallen, that a third of the angels that rose up with Lucifer against God were cast out of heaven to earth, and they walked the earth, and then they saw the human women, and they found them to be, you know, the same way we find them, and they took of them, even though that was forbidden, and then found a way over time to breed with them and create offspring. So that would have been one of the key reasons for the flood and the key things that he was trying to wipe out, and that they lived then and live today. Now, I believe that, but what's interesting in that whole thing is there was one thing I learned about demons because I don't like I said, I never studied the Bible, so um, I didn't realize that demons are not like physical beings, like aliens. Every time they're or not aliens, angels. Every time they're represented in the Bible, apparently they take human form. But demons always have to get into a form. They're always seeking a form. They don't seem to have their own form. So the ones that would be involved behind the scenes in, let's say, my theory and my belief system ends up being true, are angels, fallen angels. They're not demons. You know what I mean? Just like Lucifer is actually an angel. It's not a demon. He was an angel. You don't think about that. Or I don't. So maybe you don't. All the time anyway. That these evil ones that I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to close off to one belief. So let's say you believe in the things that different mythologies. They all talked about these strange beings and that they learned from and learned different skills and things from. Like the Egyptians had myths, and all kinds of cultures have different myths. But whatever you think, there's evidence of these beings, these otherworldly beings. Also in the some of the structures, like, and I don't know about the construction of the pyramids, and there's these weird. I had never seen this one, so and I just realized I don't remember the name of it. Refugium, but it's on this plateau, and you can't even see it except from above, and it's got all these 2-ton stones, and I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying a lot of it doesn't make sense. I have a friend, Tyler, who takes it a little further, but like he is into more of Tartaria, which is another thing we would get into on conspiracy theories and chill. But I would have to have Tyler on for that. It's interesting though, and I like that kind of stuff. But I don't want to get too much more into this part because I just realized I'm biting off more than I can chew with the Bible stuff. I can't stand on my own with the Bible. And I know that's bad because especially if I consider myself a Christian, I should probably at least finish it. Most atheists that I end up in discussions with know it much better than probably my pastor. They're very informed on the Bible. And what it seems to do is turn you into an atheist. Either that or they're just really wanting to do well in arguments, but I don't imagine that's the case. I don't imagine that's why atheists study the Bible so much. Hey, Babels, his book on aliens. Oh, okay. The secret behind the UFO phenomenon. See, I believe they'll show them to us one day. They'll have a disclosure, and I believe what they'll show us and they'll say are aliens are actually the fallen. But again, it's my belief and my theory. I believe that what they're going to show you is a lie, and they're going to say it's an alien, and I don't know how they'll use them. Reagan always talked about an outer worldly threat would be the thing that would bring the world together, and we all know that's their aim and their view, and what they're trying to do is to achieve their new world order and move towards that final goal. So, will they use it in that way or will they use it in some other way? They're what they show you when they do show you, and I think they will, isn't going to be what they tell you it is. That's what I'm saying. That's what I believe. But that's just my belief. And again, my beliefs aren't etched in stone. And I'm still growing. I'm still a baby. So I'm gonna grow and change, and I might get convinced of something else along the way. Right now, that's the way I feel, and I believe that we're in the age of deceit, and the Lucifer is in control of this earth. I believe evil is in control. I believe there's a lot of evidence saying that. James says people with faith are stronger foes. Yeah, I believe there's a lot of truth in that statement. But I don't want to ramble on about the Bible and come off like an idiot because that's what I'll do if I try to do too much Bible. But the Nephilim is fascinating and just giants in general. And how do you feel about that? No one really said. David said that it was interesting about the Nephilim, but like, how do you feel, Josh? You're the one that showed it to me, but do you? I believe that these people walk the earth because but I'm religious and I know maybe I don't want to blast you. I know more than I'm saying I know, but I don't want to blast you. A lot of people don't like to say, I decided to put all my stuff on blast. That doesn't mean everybody wants to. You know what I mean? So I sometimes try to hold back. But there was one thing he brought up that I'm going to look into, and I had never heard of this. It's the Rendlesham Forest incident, and it happened in Britain around the same time as Roswell. And it was where a UFO landed and then landed again the next day, but they also communicated with it. I'm going to look into this because this and the Battle of Los Angeles plus Roswell could be a video too. And I need a video for this coming week. So I don't think I can tackle the Nephilim yet. I think I'm going to need more time because I need to do a lot more research. I'm sure of that. I definitely need to do more research. And probably going to have to take on reading the Bible, but that will be a good episode. But the Battle of Los Angeles, is there any interest in talking about that maybe? We can get into that for a second, kick that around. That's fascinating. But when you think about what they did in that incident, think about what they could probably do today because something happened. They were firing at something. There was a phenomenon. I'm kind of glazing over it, but there was a phenomenon in the sky, and there was basically a war against UFOs, like things in the sky. They were shooting at something. Something happened, and by the accounts of the people, that it was pretty convincing. That was a long time ago. So what can they do today? Have you seen the circuses they're doing now with holograms? They can do some pretty neat stuff. So there's going to be a mass deception. I really believe that. And I believe that what they're going to show us isn't going to be what they say it is. I believe that we're in for, pretty big surprise. And we should, well, I believe, protect yourself with the armor of God, but at least stay in the truth. Don't believe that your intelligence is going to get you through it. You'll be able to, so it's going to be very convincing. You got to understand there's probably stuff that exists that would look like magic to us, religious or not. Like what would your phone look like to somebody 50 years ago? They're at least 50 years ahead. So there's stuff that they could do. You got to imagine what we've seen is not what they have. So that would look like magic to us. We don't even understand it. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. This has been Yankey Show, and I wanted to do some kind of feed tonight and hang out with you guys because come to really like it. And we're doing it professionally anyway. And I'm going to bring one of them back on Fridays. And I don't know if it should be Yankey Show or Yankey Rants. So we kind of did a little bit of everything tonight. and ended up mostly doing conspiracy theories and chill. It always comes back to conspiracy theories and chill. That's my favorite. That's the baby. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you guys on the next feed. And like I said, there's links in the description for just how to support the shows. We do these professionally now. This is my part-time job. Hopefully one day my full-time job. But thanks for hanging out. And thanks for sharing if you did. And I'll see you on the next feed.